Kyrie Irving is gone. Every single Brooklyn Net fan, if there is any, is excited. Why? Because you don't have an anti-Semitic crazy lunatic opening his mouth anymore to the press, talking his gibberish crap on social media, and just who he is off the court, and actually calling practices when he shouldn't be. No more Kyrie Irving. After Kevin Durant goes down a couple of weeks ago, the Nets found out that he was going to be out a significant amount of time, 4 to 8 weeks. After Kyrie Irving had to take over and be the number one option, kept this team afloat, a week before the trade deadline, he goes to the Brooklyn Nets and Sean Marks and tells them, I want to be traded. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go elsewhere. The Nets were not going to give him a super max contract. They never were planning to give him a super max contract. So he didn't want to be here anymore. The Nets suspended him for the stupidity that came out of his mouth and all over social media. He apologized. And I'll get into the stupidity that after being introduced with the Mavericks, what he said at the press conference was absolutely despicable as a man and as a player that's making millions and millions of dollars playing in front of fans that love him. The Nets decide a couple of days before the trade deadline to trade Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks for Spencer Dinwiddie, ex-Brooklyn Nets Spencer Dinwiddie, which they should have never traded away. Dorian Finney-Smith, a pretty decent defensive player that has upside. Maybe he becomes a pretty decent offensive player for the Nets. He could shoot the three. That's something that they need because Joe Harris can't hit anymore. A first-round pick and 2 second-round picks for Kyrie Irving. Is it worth a player of Kyrie Irving's talent? No. To trade away probably the best point guard in the league. Yes, he has a big mouth. Yes, I don't want him on my team because he's a cancer, and he's been a cancer everywhere he's gone, but he is a super talent. As Allen Iverson has come out and said that he has the best crossover he's ever seen, and Allen Iverson was compared to be the best ball handler in NBA history. Looking at this move, what does this tell me about the Brooklyn Nets? What it tells me is they're rebuilding. Billy King did this same exact thing when he traded for Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and the Jet. They were there for 2 years. They were washed up players, and they gave the Boston Celtics not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 first-round draft picks to the lonely Boston Celtics. And what did they get out of those? They got Jaylen Brown and an MVP candidate this year, Jason Tatum. They're 2 superstars. Out of those 5 first-round draft picks, they got 2 superstars, which is a lot out of 3 first-round draft picks. Usually, you'd be lucky to get 1 out of 5. You get 2. The Brooklyn Nets and Billy King set the team back. Then they brought Sean Marks in. And Sean Marks, they bring in Karis LeVert, brings in Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a journeyman, jumped a couple of teams before he settled in with the Brooklyn Nets and figured it out because of the coach, who, by the way, was run out by Kyrie Irving.
Kenny Atkinson.
Exactly. Where's Kenny Atkinson now? He's the assistant coach of the Golden State Warriors. This Brooklyn Nets team has been an absolute joke. And by the way, after they brought Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in, they make a trade for James Harden. And that trade cost the Nets 4 first-round draft picks, which now become lottery picks because this team is going to be horrible for the next 5 seasons. James Harden had it right. He was the smartest one out of all of them. As soon as he realized this team was a debacle, he said, trade me. He goes to the 76ers. I don't know if they win a championship because they have Doc Rivers coaching them, but nevertheless, he goes to a better organization, a better run organization. And then Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are squandering with Ben Simmons. They're paying Ben Simmons $38 million a year. And they were playing pretty well. Ben Simmons was playing well this year. He wasn't scoring double-digit points, but at least he was playing well. Defensively, he was rebounding, he was passing, he was ball handling, he was doing everything that they needed him to do. And then Kyrie Irving is gone. Now Kevin Durant is gone. And when you look at that roster right now, their starting lineup, from the beginning of the season, when you had 2 of the best players at their positions in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, averaged about 60 points a game, are now playing for the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. And you have to show for this, Mikal Bridges, good player. He's not Kyrie Irving, and he's not Kevin Durant. Cam Johnson, who lost his starting job, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Dorian Finney-Smith. I applaud the Brooklyn Nets on this trade. Wonderful. You got 5 first-round draft picks, which, by the way, are not lottery picks. They're going to be late first-round draft picks, which means nothing. I don't want to hear from anybody say, well, they could trade up. Nobody's going to want the 27th and 28th pick, even if you have a lottery pick. You're not going to have a lottery pick for the next couple of years. It doesn't benefit the Brooklyn Nets right now. You can't sell me that the Brooklyn Nets are going to be fine.